How much does a pirate pay for an ear of corn? A buck an ear. What's going on, YouTube? We're inside the Infinite Archive, inside of Apocrypha, to go over our first of 2 weekly Tuesday vendors. And again, what that means is that every Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Times, these items reset. So you've got a full week from watching this video to get these items. And let's dive in and see what we got. And we start off with our antiquity leads. Now, this is the soiled tapestry scrap. Now, you might think, Jake, is that something that I need to go out and buy? Well, no, you actually just pick up this lead from the ground. So you'd be spending 5,000 archival fortunes from saving yourself from going to this red circle here and picking an item off the ground. Probably not the best use of your resources, but, you know, to each their own. Now, this next one's actually unique because there is definitely a reason you may want to purchase this, and this is the Worn Dwarven Gears. Now, when you Google where this comes from, you'll see that it drops from Bezakar, which is the area inside of Stros Mackay with trash mobs, and you can see that the first result is some dude saying, I've killed over 200 wolves and spiders inside of here, and I've not gotten it. So, you could see that this potentially might not be something that you want to have to farm, and the Ebon Wolf mount, which is what this comes from, is a pretty popular mount to have. I'll show it to you guys here, because it's one of the coolest looking earnable mounts in the game. And so from that aspect, this could potentially be something that would interest you guys. But 5,000 archival fortunes is still a significant resource investment, but this is one of the more annoying leads to get when it comes to this mount. Next up is Lord Warden. Lord Warden is notoriously farmable during the Undaunted Celebration event, which is probably only 2 to 3 weeks away at max. 15,000 archival fortunes for a bound style page is pretty hefty, especially when these sales prices are this low, 130,000 gold. You can see some people are still very optimistic with 4 to 5 million, but 500,000 gold, not worth your archival fortunes to save that much money. Even if you were desperate to get this, just wait a few weeks. Next up, we have Hrothgar treasure maps. There's a good case to make for Hrothgar treasure maps. Let's start with the pros. The pros are is that there's no world events inside of Hrothgar, meaning that the sets that drop from there, it can be very hard to get jewelry. Those of you who don't know, jewelry comes from world events. Whether you're killing an anchor that Mullig Ball decided to put down into this earth, or you're killing a dragon or a Harrowstorm, that's your jewelry collection machine. There's no jewelry collection machine like that inside of Hrothgar, so if you want to get the jewelry pieces there, you have to open chests. And notably, Pariah is a really good PvP defensive set. It's been out for a while, sure, but it is still a very popularized set. So a lot of people will do treasure maps or chest runs to try to get that set. However, here's the problem. 2,000 archival fortunes is still not worth it to convert to gold. You would still be better off buying the fixed vendor items such as the consumable satchels. So unfortunately, Hrothgar treasure maps are probably not worth the purchase. But it is notable, at least in that you can get 2 good sets from there if you do have these treasure maps. I also noticed when I was checking the prices for Hrothgar treasure maps that they had plummeted because I guess that because they're highlighted in the vendor, people don't want them anymore. If you can get these treasure maps for a few hundred gold, that's probably instant money that you could be earning. So you can also use the fact that the vendor is highlighting something specific to get it at a cheaper rate. Definitely could be a good time to get some Hrothgar treasure maps. Next up, you can also use your archival fortunes to roll for some companion gear. Should you roll for companion gear weapons? Even with 2 brand new companions coming in the Q4 update, I think that the answer is still probably not. Weapons are very risky because you could get, for example, the healing trait on a sword. And for those of you who don't know, it's suboptimal to try to heal somebody with a sword as a companion. And so because of that, this is a very risky one, and honestly, companion gear weapons are not even super crazy valuable compared to some of the other pieces. So for me, I would skip the companion weapons. And I do want to quickly talk to you about the fragments. You can get this by killing Herald Seekers in the Telvanni Peninsula and Apocrypha. You can get these books, but there's so many other places you can buy books. I would not buy them with archival fortunes. But then we get to scripts, because there's always a lot of confusion on scripts, because there are people that are selling scripts that they got that were unbound, and they're selling them for millions of gold. So people think that these are worth millions of gold, so spending a couple thousand archival fortunes is just a drop in the bucket. But at the end of the day, and I have a whole video breaking this down, every single script can be gained from a very easy activity, whether it's Mages Guild dailies, whether it's killing world bosses, Fighters Guild daily, Undaunted, Rewards of the Worthy, Cyrodiil quests. Like, there's like so many ways that you can get the scripts that you need that unless you're specifically not doing that type of content, you don't need to worry about buying it. And the second vendor we go over has a lot of these scripts already you can buy with gold. So I would not utilize your archival fortunes, even though shock damage, it can be pretty good. 3,000 archival fortunes, you're not breaking the bank. But by the time you're getting to the point where you need to utilize this script, you probably already have it. That's why I would not want to waste resources on it. To me, Elder Scrolls Online is a game of resources. How many Undaunted keys, transmute crystals, gold, alliance points, Telvar, archival fortunes do you have, and what's the best way to maximize those currencies for your character's benefit? That's what I'm always thinking when I make these videos, so that's what I want to kind of impart upon you, is it's a game of resources, and time is also a resource. So, would you rather be farming the archival fortunes, or would you rather be, leveling up your companion doing Mages Guild dailies, for example? And then we finish on our 2 fragments. For those of you who don't know, just go inside of a public dungeon and kill things to get these fragments. The Sigil Globe, which is always a tongue twister to say out loud, is actually relatively easy to get. There's so many other fragments. And for those of you who also don't know, the first fragment that you get per day is at an increased odds chance. So you go in, get your 1 fragment, and then just go do something else. It's the most efficient way to get fragments, either to sell or utilize for yourself. But even if you just wanted to buy these fragments, they're like 10,000 gold max. And next up, we're inside the Scholarium, inside of Ivea, and we are here to go over our Chronicle vendor because they have a rotating assortment of scripts. Now, I always like to highlight these because gold is a much easier resource to get. And RNG-wise, it can be very beneficial to just spend 8 to 20,000 gold to get a script if you truly do need it. So, we start off with a Veneration, which I actually don't have, so I'm going to purchase it. And we have Magic Castile, which I'm also going to purchase just because I don't have it. Now, should you purchase it, it's going to depend on your resources. I'm a completionist on my characters, so I'm going to purchase it just because I've been doing tons of content and still haven't gotten these specific ones. But a Veneration just reduces critical damage done by an enemy. I don't even think even in PvP situations are probably ever going to use that. Magic Castile, maybe. I could see that coming up when you're in a PvP situation. Sometimes PvP situations become a battle of attrition. I think it's better instead of building a attrition type build to actually build something that just has really quick burst damage and burst potential, but to each their own. And then Dispel is another one that I think is potentially skippable. The Cavalier's Charge is a pretty cool ability, so one could be one to consider as well. It's a pretty cool signature script that you can use. But overall, most of the stuff here is relatively nominal, and I wouldn't stress about getting it. But everyone, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, we're doing our 3 giveaway drawings. All you have to do is be subscribed on YouTube. And for 2 additional entries, you can follow on Twitch and Twitter. Second thing is look for a hidden word to be flashed upon the screen. If you're the first person to comment that word, you will win. And the third thing is just leave a comments below. Tell me what mythic you are looking for. To me, I just want to complete the Torque of the Alien King. That's all I want. And will it ever happen? Remains to be seen. So, thank you guys so much again, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
You better remember to like and subscribe to Jakeclips. Or you should. I might have to pluck your eyes if you don't. Or, better yet, I'll skip rope with your entrails. Do it now. Subscribe. Ta-ta. Off with you.